It's now very clear that there is a division in General Museveni's family, where CDF MUHOOZI Kainerugaba is taking on his in-law RWABWOGO. It started by the CDF MUHOOZI Kainerugaba threatening to arrest PES ID, an organization led by RWABWOGO. He came out on his Twitter handle to say, PES ID is an illegal organization. We shall start arresting its members immediately. That was an ex of General MUHOOZI threatening to arrest PES ID employees. For those who don't know, PES ID is an organization. It is a presidential committee for export, industries and development led by RWABWOGO. In fact, if you go on their website, you clearly see RWABWOGO as the chairman and other employees. And if you see that when RWABWOGO threatened, he went to do actions. He arrested the general secretary in this picture. In fact, the person you see in that picture was posted by MUHOOZI Kainerugaba saying that he's in the basement learning Runyankore. So you clearly see that there is a division. For those who have been following my channel, I've talked about the transitional politics in General Museveni's family, where RWABWOGO also wants to be president, yet even MUHOOZI Kainerugaba wants to be president. And I think since MUHOOZI Kainerugaba is well versed with crude technology and weapons and crude ways, that's how he handles a person who takes them on. On the other side, RWABWOGO, it is said that he's being supported by Janet Kataha Museveni. He looks more exposed, he looked more composed when it comes to transition in General Museveni's family. To show you that it is very serious, MUHOOZI Kainerugaba even went on to say all MDAs and local governments are directed to suspend all dealings with the criminal organization PES ID. Failure to do so will be handled accordingly. So General Museveni is even threatening MUHOOZI Kainerugaba's RWABWOGO organization to stop dealing with any government entity. It is true, RWABWOGO uses this entity to do business with government. We all know that a person who does business with government gets a lot of money. And since he's an in-law to General Kaguta Museveni, he does business. Oh, okay. But the way it is being handled in the public, it shows how the family is divided. So for me, I want to talk about these things. One, when the employee for RWABWOGO was arrested and posted on social media how General Museveni is teaching him Runyankore, in that tweet, the way you see when he's shirtless, it shows you that under a criminal entity, no one is safe, even those who support the regime. Because it started on opposition figures where everyone is arrested, is made shirtless and put on social media. Now, it is even touching those who are with the system. In fact, RWABWOGO came out and narrated what happened. RWABWOGO said these statements.
Senior officers in the organization. So 10:30 p.m. yesterday, I was seeing off international visitors who are here with us over the weekend, and was notified that one of our officers had been picked up. And I quickly went through all the security agencies, police, DIS, SFC. I hope you know those acronyms. And I wasn't able to find where he was, so I drove to Entebbe and met the president, and the president told me that he was not aware, given no order, the arrest of this officer, and that he was going to try and find out what the story is and the circumstances of his arrest. What was important is that he did not order this and he wasn't aware. I would have been surprised if he had done that, because the record of President Museveni over the last 40 years is there is no arbitrary arrest. There is a due process. Follow the law. At per se, we follow the law. Where we have incidents of things of insults leveled against us, lies, we do our best to stick within the law. We pick the evidence, we go to the relevant institution, because we truly believe in the constitutional rights and obligations of both government and citizen. Because I was a young boy in the Constituent Assembly, as a young reporter like you, But
that is RWABWOGO 1. First of all, RWABWOGO, ask yourself, you even have the luxury to walk in State House and see the president informally. What about those who are always arrested, who cannot even see a police chief in the area? It shows you how the road is. One thing I give up to RWABWOGO is he has ever come out to speak how the NRM government has degenerated and needs some reforms, which is the truth. He talked about how elections are stolen by elections, which is the truth. He knows what is going on in the NRM. But it continues to say, to show you how the NRM has degenerated. Secondly, if RWABWOGO, you went and met the president, who is your father-in-law, who is also the father to General Moses Kainerugaba, you didn't have, if I was you, I wouldn't come out to make that statement. If you meet the president, go out and keep quiet and do other things under the table. The moment you come out and you also tackle, you increase on the tension. And remember, if it is time to decide with anyone, General Museveni there is no parent who can decide with the in-law. General Museveni will always decide with his son. It is the truth. The moment you met the president and he told you that he's going to look up to, you didn't need to do that pressure. You would keep quiet, follow the law, and wait for what is going to come through. But if the moment you came out on this pressure, it looks like as if you are also fighting back, and it's going to be ugly. And I keep on telling people that as transition comes in our way, because transition is a must. General Museveni is now 82 years. Even his family members look at him like this and go like, anytime the man can leave power. The casualties, majority of the casualties are going to come from the NRM, and severe casualties are going to come from General Kaguta Museveni's family, because what is taking place is not pleasant. It is the truth. It's because Moses Kainerugaba wants to be president, but also the in-law wants to be president. It is the truth. In fact, Moses Kainerugaba also came out in another tweet and said, we have started arresting the criminals in PESA ID. Mosea has told me to get all of them. And that is a lie, because even RWABWOGO came out to say that Museveni never knew about it. So you clearly see that what is going on in our state, it is state capture, where family battles are sinking in the state because of supremacy. So Moses also came out to say the next time Odrick Deyers calls any security officer without my approval, he will be arrested. In other words, Moses Kainerugaba is telling his in-law that the moment he calls any security officer without his approval, he's going to arrest him. So you clearly see that I think all this happens because General Museveni is an elder man. The more you become older, certain attributes go away. I don't think that Prime General Kaguta Museveni would allow family matters to go in public like this way, in a negative manner. It is the truth. Okay? So you clearly see that General Moses Kainerugaba doesn't need RWABWOGO. It's the reason why I've always been wondered how the illegal entry to PLU, Daudi Kavanda in particular, was attacking RWABWOGO left, right, and center every day. And I take this opportunity to tell Daudi Kavanda, if you're watching this video, one, you are our son from Buganda. Do not entangle in transition on a family basis for General Kaguta Museveni. Because the moment they reconcile and they are looking for someone to throw under the bus, guess who will be the first person? Remember that story where the people were on the boat and they had to throw out some people. Or throw out some things. The first things that were thrown out were the useless people. In a family battle, you're on the periphery. RWABWOGO could see the president informally, as he said. General Museveni is his own son. The day they will reconcile, Daudi Kavanda will be the casualty, because you've entangled in this battle unknowingly. To show you that Moses Kainerugaba is so serious, he even came out to say, I reserve the right to reclaim my sister from a hooligan who infiltrated my family. He's calling the husband of his sister a hooligan who invaded his family. It is the truth. Maybe MUHOOZI knows more than what we know. Does RWABWOGO beat his sister? Does RWABWOGO do some things that General Museveni doesn't know? Because the way Moses Kainerugaba is reacting is unbecoming. Those are family matters which can be settled. But for me, as a person who looks at politics, I think it is transition. Both of these would want to inherit their father-in-law and father respectively. and I see some dire situation happening. So for me, my point is, whenever there is a country that is not ruled by the constitution, but that does not rule by the rule of law, where the family is the center stage of the state, where General Museveni is the president, the son is the CDF, the brother operational growth on the wife Minister of Education, the brother, other brothers in parliament. That's what you get, and we shall one day all dance on the tunes of the family, and that is not good leadership. My parting shot is one. Who is going to win this battle? Of course, General MUHOOZI has the state with him, is the son of the president. Even when General Museveni is given a choice to choose between RWABWOGO and MUHOOZI, he'll definitely go for his son. And I don't think RWABWOGO can match General MUHOOZI based on the circumstances. However much RWABWOGO seems to be on the right track, because what RWABWOGO is facing, this has always been the modus operandi of the state against the opposition. Of course, that's my opinion. Yours truly, Mr. Makindi Suleiman Magal. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I'm motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.